And here we go. Hello, Eagles family. Hello to my NFC East family. Thought I'd come on and just have a quick video. Just want to bring you guys some information. I actually wanted to bring up a topic pertaining to, the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I wanted to address the ridiculous madness from yesterday, the video that went out that was really to hype up Quinyon Mitchell. The video was really to hype Quinyon Mitchell up and to show, what a good play he made on the break that he made on the ball that Jalen threw to Hollywood Brown, which was actually a pretty decent pass. Because Jalen was literally putting the ball where either Hollywood Brown was either going to catch it or nobody could. And Quinyon made a break on the pass, and he made a great play. That's why he's a top 3 cornerback in this league. Shout out to Quinyon Mitchell. But, it's ridiculous that the video, last time I checked, had about 15 million views. And you can see, like, all yesterday when I was going home from work, I saw a lot of Dallas content creators going bananas. Like, Vach Lombardi jumped on live and was trying to clown. You hear Fart Holmes talking about it, and some of his other guys, Game Time had mentioned it, like, oh, somebody's gonna get fired for leaking the footage. Like, the video, people, was to clearly highlight a great play by Quinyon Mitchell. It wasn't a slight towards Jalen. It amazes me. It amazes me the negative attention that Jalen Hurts has gotten and continues to get this offseason. The Eagles, we're such a polarizing team right now, to where you have other fan bases that just they hate it. They can't stand the fact that the Eagles are very polarizing, that the Eagles are really a staple right now within the NFL, one of the top franchises, and one of the top winning franchises, and has been for the last 2 decades. And some fan bases are having a difficult time dealing with that. They really are. Especially those in Arlington, because, like I said in my last video, in the 90s, it was all about Dallas, and nobody, like, I don't have a problem saying that. I don't. It was all about Dallas, right? But now, in the the modern football era, right now, today, is really about the Eagles. It's not. It's that Dallas is only popular when it comes to popularity, right? They get the most TV shows. They're the most expensive franchise. We give you you got it. People love to hate Dallas, but that's really where it ends. Like, when it comes to football, when it comes to, like, X's and O's, when it comes to the brass taxes, the meat and potatoes of football, the Dallas Cowboys are no more relevant than the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let that sit. Let that sink in, because I know somebody is upset right now. Somebody's panties is in a bunch. Somebody's saying, oh, who does this SOB think he is? Well, you forgot who we were. We were you. You forgot. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, when it comes to X's and O's, when it comes down to football, actual football, the brass taxes, Dallas is no more relevant than the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're not. And here's why. Because the Dallas Cowboys are the only team in the NFC conference not to make it to, or they haven't made it to an NFC championship game in 30 years. That's terrible. You have 4 playoff wins. since the year 2004. That's bad. You know? And then you say, well, why are these Eagles fans so arrogant? Because we win. We have a franchise that, when I go like this, I know that this franchise, this team right here, that emblem is all about business. We're all about winning. We're all about Super Bowls right now. That's the ceiling for us, Super Bowls. It's not the division. It's not making the playoffs. It's not the NFC Championship game, because that's what you hear from the Giants. That's what you hear from Dallas. We're not even hearing that from Washington, because they know that's not a possibility for them, at least for this year. But when you talk to us, it's about Super Bowls. That's what we're about. We're the cream of the crop. We are. It's us. It's this. It's this. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. It's just the way it is. And that's just the way that it's going to be for the foreseeable future. We're not going anywhere. We're not. Sorry, Dallas, Washington, Giants. As much as it pains you, the Eagles are going to be relevant for quite some time now. And Jalen Hurts is that guy. And getting back to Jalen, do you know Jalen was voted the most hated player in the NFL? Yeah, he was voted the most hated player in the NFL. Jalen Hurts, the most hated, which is crazy to me. Coming off of winning a Super Bowl MVP, he was voted the most hated. And when I looked at the variables as to, why someone would be, voted the most hated individual, and these were some of the variables. Some of the variables here were the dislike comes from his off-field controversy. Right? Just hear this. Off-field controversy, his aggressive on-field behavior, right? And also scrutiny that comes with team success, right? So off the field controversies, aggressive on-field behavior, and scrutiny that comes with team success. Now, the first two, the off the field controversies and the aggressive on-field behavior, that's not Jalen, right? I mean, Jalen is focused, he's calm, he's always collected, always in the moment. You'll never see him lose his cool like the bum we just got rid of, AJ, on the sideline reading books, getting into it with teammates and getting into it with the coach. That sounds like AJ Brown. That doesn't sound like Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry, people. Let's be real with ourselves. And I'm gonna touch on the topic, and I know people, have heard other Eagles content creators talk about it, and it may make you uncomfortable, but that's okay. We should be, put in uncomfortable positions sometimes in our lives. It builds character. It really helps build character, and it helps us be aware of other things, our surroundings, and other things other than ourselves, right? Now, the on-field or the team success, I can totally get that. Because outside of Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts is that guy. He's that guy. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, a Super Bowl MVP, 2 NFC championships. The first quarterback in the division in almost 20 years to win the division back-to-back. I mean, his winning percentage is ridiculous. I think he's like 20-17. His overall record is like, not 20-17. Forgive me. It's like 50-17. And we're just talking about a body of work that is just 6 years as a starter. 6 years as a starter. And I believe his playoff record is, if I'm not mistaken, is 6-4. 6-4. And within that 6 games, there's 2 NFC championships. There's 2 Super Bowls with a Super Bowl MVP. Now, we know another quarterback that's been in the league for 11 years, and he's 2-5. We have another quarterback, a young guy. He has more success than the 11-year veteran. And then we have another guy, Jackson Dart, who's he's an up and coming, right? But I mean, what are we talking about here? Now, there's one caveat that I want to enter into that category, and that he's black. Yeah, he's black. He's African American. That's a factor. Yeah, because and here's why. And you say, oh, here they go again. No, I'm bringing facts, right? So Jalen Hurts throws an interception, which the video was not even called. It wasn't even focusing on Jalen. It was focusing on Quinyon Mitchell and the excellent play that he made, breaking on a ball that was only thrown or placed where Hollywood Brown can get it. And we know that Quinyon Mitchell, as great as he is, he doesn't have any regular season interception. He has 0. But in the playoffs, he has 4. So here it is in preseason. We're tuning up. The team is getting ready, getting focused, getting locked in. And here's Quinyon with a great interception. But yet, the world takes it as, look at Jalen throwing an interception, and gets 15 million views. I mean, make it make sense. Make it make sense, people. And you have people just acting goofy over it. Oh, look at Jalen throwing interceptions. Yes, he threw an interception. That's why it's called training camp. Training camp is like boot camp. When you go to boot camp, they literally build you down and build. They tear you down and then build you back up in the image that they would like to see you. So, yeah, I expect Jalen to throw interceptions in training camp. I actually expect Jalen to have more interceptions this year than he probably ever had. You know why? Because he's going to throw the ball. Jalen protects the football better than any quarterback in the NFL. You know, and his passer rating, you know, and please correct me, I believe his passer rating in the middle of the field is like 100, is over 100 passing rating, throwing the football in the middle of the field. The only thing is he doesn't throw it a lot, because we all know, if you have any common sense and you know football, when you throw the football in the middle of the field a lot, then you have a tendency of throwing interceptions. And my quarterback doesn't like that. He doesn't like throwing interceptions. So he would avoid it if he could. But now that we have a new offensive coordinator and a new scheme running the West Coast, you see more 11-12 personnel. You may see some 21 personnel. So he's going to throw the football in the middle of the field more. So, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, what are we doing here? The most hated. And this man does so many charities in the city of Philadelphia, donating air conditionings, helping people get education, white, black, whatever. Like, Jalen is out here and just doing, the Lord's work on the football field and off. This man is not getting any controversies. The man is happily married. From my understanding, just had a beautiful child. And the man is locked in on football. He's not out here banging strippers. He's not out here sleeping with massage therapists, getting into fights with teammates, reading books on the sideline. I mean, the most hated is crazy. That's crazy work. I don't understand it. So listen, do with that as you please. Jalen Hurts is actually having a wonderful training camp. He's doing great. From my perspective and from what I've seen, what I've heard, Jalen is doing a great job, really opening himself up to this new concept, this new role. He's more outgoing. He has more personality. If you really pay attention to him, there's some of our compadres who we do shows with, Game Time is in market, and doesn't see the fact that the Eagles wide receiver room is deep. He doesn't see that, oh, you guys, if you don't make a trade, then you're going to struggle. You're going to have a problem on offense. Really? I mean, the last time I looked, the Eagles wide receiver room is deeper than Dallas's. I mean, listen, Dallas has the top 2 best wide receivers, maybe in football. But after that, who else is there? A Ryan Flournoy, who averaged 25 yards a year for last year, 25 yards a game. And in one game, he got like half of his yards. Like, what are we talking about here? What the hell is a Flournoy? What is a Flournoy? Flournoy would be like maybe the 5th receiver on the Eagles and would probably get cut. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm not trolling. I'm not trying to hate. You know, Flournoy, of course, you're going to have a good season if you're playing behind 2, outstanding wide receivers, right? And there's a double standard here because, Dallas all these years would cry, oh, we need to get, Strawberry Daiquiri. We need to get him weapons. We got to get Daiquiri. We got to build a team around him. And you build a team around him and he chokes, and now, you can say, well, now it's time for Jalen to prove because he may not have 2 number 1s, and that's fine. You don't need 2 number 1s to win the Super Bowl, and we have a really deep wide receiver room, really good, talented, extremely talented. I don't have any worries. And for my NFC East family, TP Way, Game Time, Momo, Rio Robinson, all you guys, you can laugh at our wide receiver room all you want. Please do, right? But then I want you to really sit back and do a good football analysis and think. You may laugh at our wide receiver room, but let's look at your cornerbacks. Let's look at your corners. Are they capable of covering our receivers? Are any of them? Who's your number 1 receiver, Dallas? Who's your not receiver, I'm sorry. Who's your number 1 cornerback, Dallas? Savon Ravel, Kobe Durant, whom I've been speaking to my friends who are Rams fans, and they absolutely laugh at the notion that you guys think that you stole one. They brought it back to my remembrance in the Seattle game and throughout the year, that boy was getting lit up, getting torched. Oh, but he got 4 interceptions. Okay, cool. But the boy was getting roasted. So good luck with that. Who's Washington's corners? Who are your corners? Who's your number 1 corner? Huh? What is it? Rasul Douglas? Is that who you guys picked up? And the Giants. I mean, you guys were bringing in Terrion Arnold to have a conversation. Now, if the guy doesn't go to prison, I think that would be a good pickup. But our own Theo, the Detroit Lions fan, who told us a month ago that Terrion Arnold is overrated, that the guy's not that good. And then the hypocrisy. Game Time came on and was like, oh, you guys talking about Son and Terrion Arnold, he might be going to jail. But a month ago, it was Dallas, and the Dallas content creators were like, should we pick up Terrion? Should we get Terrion? You guys were just interested. But now when the Giants come and say and take a look at it, now it's a problem. Like the hypocrisy and the takes and the mental aptitude of some of my compadres. I love you guys, man, but sometimes I sit back and I scratch my head like, what's going on with these guys? I mean, has 30 years of just being mediocre and below average just, put you guys in some stupor, in some state where it's just like you guys really can't think straight? I don't get it. Let me ask this question: How good are the Eagles? I mean, for real, like, how good are the Philadelphia Eagles? So last year, our offense struggled big time, and the main struggle was from the offensive line being hurt. And we know that the offensive line being hurt stems from, yes, there's age there, But not only that, for the last 6 years, we've made deep playoff runs. 2 years ago, we had a receiver run for 2,000 yards plus. And, when you make deep playoff runs, Dallas, when you make deep playoff runs, Washington, when you make deep playoff runs, Giants, your players don't really have a lot of time to recoup. They don't have a lot of time to regenerate, because you're right back in OTAs and you're right back in training camp before you know it, right? But this year we got to rest. We got to sit back and we got to kind of woo-saw and collect ourselves and really understand, we got something new here. We need to refocus, because listen, there's championship DNA that runs through the Philadelphia Eagles. See, we have champions that are on our team. The core players on our team, the Jalen Carters, the Jordan Davises, the Quinyon Mitchells, the Cooper DeJeans, those are Super Bowl champions. Yeah. We even have our kicker is a two-time Super Bowl champion. See, all through the locker room, from the top of the office down to the water boy, there's championship DNA. We know what it takes. We know what you have to do to get to the pinnacle. We know what you have to do in order to get that Lombardi and to get the ring. Nobody on Dallas knows. Nobody on Washington knows. Nobody in Giants, maybe the new head coach that they have. But who else knows? Who else? We're the cream of the crop, ladies and gentlemen. The Eagles are damn good. We have so much talent. And I don't want to hear this foolishness that Dallas, you have a you got a new OC, so you're going to struggle. Well, then guess what? The same thing applies to the Eagles that it does to Dallas, that it does to the Washington, that it does to the Giants, right? So make sure you apply that same principle with your defense, because all I hear is, it got to be better. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be better. If you don't think we're going to be better, then guess what? You're not going to be better, because our offense has way more talent on it than your defense does. Your defense has a lack of talent. I'm sorry, you just do. If you're saying Kobe Durant is your number one corner, that's a problem. If you have a safety playing linebacker who is overshown, you got a problem. Yeah. And guess what? As bad as our offensive was, as bad as we were, 11-6. That's our floor, ladies and gentlemen. 11-6 is the floor for the Eagles. And the Eagles almost have more wins in 1 year than Dallas has in 2. Dallas, you were 14-19-1. The Eagles were 11-6. I mean, that's pathetic. How good are the Eagles? How good is this team? See, I remember back in the day, Roy Jones came out to a song, You Must Have Forgot. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot. You picked up one of our guys, which is a great guy. CP is good, but he's not the one. If y'all had picked up Clint Hurt, boy, I'd have been concerned. But no. You must have forgot. You must have forgot who runs this division. It's the Eagles. I'm sorry. That's why you guys hate it so much. TP, that's why we're so arrogant. That's why we're so arrogant. Because we've been running this division. We've been carrying it on our backs for the last 30 years. Sorry. We're good. We're really good. And we're going to be good. We're not going anywhere, guys. Jalen's going to be good. He's going to be... I expect Jalen to struggle a little bit. Maybe early on. Maybe in the middle of the field, in the middle of the... I don't know. It's common. This guy has not had an OC, a regular OC, since he was in Oklahoma. But you had Dak, who's had constant OCs. You had, JD5. Well, maybe not JD5, but I mean, come on, guys, make it make sense, man. So, I just wanted to jump on and touch on that. About Jalen Hurts and him being the most hated, which is ridiculous to me. The Eagles and people within the NFC East, especially Dallas fans, thinking that we're going to fall off and that you've gotten closer. You haven't gotten closer. I'm sorry. We're going to win this division by 3 or 4 games. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is what it is. When you draft as well as we have, when you have a general manager and an owner like we have, when you have a quarterback like we have, this ain't going nowhere anytime soon. We're not going anywhere. Yeah. You guys will fall off before we will. Yeah. So let me just say this again before I go. Mental health, anxiety, and depression, guys. If you suffer from that, there's help for you. There's help for anxiety. There's help for depression. You can get help. You can get, therapy. You can get medicine to help you with those thoughts. If you feel like you want to do something to yourself, harm yourself, don't. Please don't. Don't do that. There's help out here. There's support. There's love. Depression and anxiety is a terrible thing to deal with. It's awful, and some of you are listening to me now suffer from that. And some of you are getting help. Some of you are, taking meds and doing the things that you need to do. And I commend you and I congratulate you. But if you're not, please do reach out to me. Shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. If you don't know how to contact me, somebody within this space that does, right? Reach out. We can try and get you some help as much as we can. Okay. So, with all that being said, I appreciate you guys. Hey, listen, my goal, I need your help, whether you're an Eagles fan or not. Trying to get to 500 likes. That's the goal. And we're going to get there. And I need you to do it, so you can come and hear me. I want to hear your comments. I want to tell me what you think. Tell me how of an arrogant SOB you think I am. Tell me, give me your opinion, because I'm going to give you mine. Yeah, give me your opinion. But 500 likes is where I'm trying to get to, so we can, that's my first goal as an Eagles content creator. I want to get to 500 likes, okay? And I can't do it without you. So I need you. I appreciate all of you. If you're listening, I think I got like 40 views and a bunch of likes from the last video. I appreciate that, and all those who commented. God bless you guys. Keep praying for me. I'll do the same for you. And go Birds. Yes, sir.